Hello aspirants, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Stop scrolling. If you are preparing for competitive exams, you already know that Indian polity can make or break your rank. But here is the brutal truth. You don't need to memorize all the articles to clear the exam, but yes, you just need to master the score. High yield questions that examiners repeat year after year. So, in this video, we are breaking down the absolutely most important Indian polity questions that will definitely show up on your paper. So, grab your pen and paper, hit the subscribe button, and let's secure those marks. Now, the first question is, according to Harold J. Lasky, without which duties are like men without arms. According to Harold J. Lasky, without which duties are like men without arms. Option A is liberty, option B is equality, option C is rights, option D is duties. Take 5 seconds and lock in your answer. Absolutely. The correct answer is option C, rights. The political theorist Harold J. Lasky emphasized the functional and inseparable relationship between rights and duties in a democratic society. He famously observed that rights without duties are like men without arms, are like men without a shadow. Clear? Can you answer this very simple question? Who was the first elected chairman of Constituent Assembly? Who was the first elected chairman of Constituent Assembly? Option A is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Option B is Dr. Sachidanand Sinha. Option C is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Option D is Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. Now, your 5 seconds starts now. Absolutely. Your correct answer is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. In this detailed explanation, just focus on very first line. Dr. Sachidanand Sinha served as the temporary chairman during the inaugural meeting on December 9, 1946. Right? But Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the permanent official chairman of the Constituent Assembly on December 11, 1946. As we all know, he later went on to become the first president of our independent India. Okay. Question number 3 is, according to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the heart and soul of the Constitution of India is option A, the preamble, option B, the fundamental rights, option C, the right to constitutional remedies, option D is directive principles of state policy. Can you get this question right in 5 seconds? Absolutely, the correct answer is the right to constitutional remedies. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar explicitly declared Article 32, which is the right to constitutional remedies, as the heart and soul of the Indian Constitution. Why he reasoned that? Because a fundamental right on paper is completely meaningless without a guaranteed enforcement mechanism, which Article 30 empowers citizens to directly approach the Supreme Court for enforcement of their fundamental rights via writs. Clear? Question number 4 is, who was the first woman governor of Madhya Pradesh? Who was the first woman governor of Madhya Pradesh? Option A is Anandiben Patel. Option B is Sarojini Naidu. Option C is Sarla Garewal. Option D is Urmila Singh. the most expected question for this competitive exam. Please note down this question with proper explanation. The correct answer is option C, Sarla Garewal. Sarla Garewal was an eminent IAS officer of the 1952 batch. Served as the first woman governor of Madhya Pradesh from 31st March 1989 to February 5, 1990. She was also notably the second female IAS officer in India and served as the principal secretary to Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. Please note down this very important fact on your revision notebook. Clear? Again, very important question. Which of the following features of the Indian Constitution was inspired by the former Soviet Union? Option A is fundamental rights. Option B is fundamental duties. Option C is parliamentary system. Option D is rule of law. Your 5 seconds starts now. Think and okay, now the correct answer is absolutely option B, fundamental duties. The fundamental duties provision incorporated, as we all know, in part 4A, which is article 51A of the Indian Constitution, was totally borrowed from the constitution of the former Soviet Union. Clear? Fundamental right we have discussed on the last session, USA, right? And parliamentary system also we have discussed, United Kingdom. Clear? Now, question number 6 is, in India, who is competent to amend the fundamental rights of the citizens? Option A, Supreme Court. Option B, Lok Sabha. Option C, Rajya Sabha. Option D, Parliament. Think that question. It's very easy yet very important. Now, the correct answer is absolutely the Parliament. Under Article 368, the Parliament of India holds the constituent authority to amend any provision of the Constitution, including fundamental rights, subject to the condition that such amendments do not alter or damage the basic structure of the Constitution as held by the Supreme Court in the historic 1973 Keshwananda Bharati case. Clear? Now, question number 7 is, which one of the following committees or commissions recommended the inclusion of fundamental duties in the Constitution? Option A is Swaran Singh. Option B is Ashok Mehta. Option C is Sarkaria. Option D is Balram Jhakar. Think that question and lock your answer in just 5 seconds. Now, the correct answer is absolutely A, Swaran Singh Committee, set up by the Congress Party government in 1976, and it formally recommended the incorporation of a dedicated chapter on fundamental duties to remind citizens that while enjoying your rights, they must also fulfill specific duties. This directly resulted in 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Clear? Question number 8 is, how many fundamental duties were originally included in the Indian Constitution by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976? Option A is 9, option B is 10, option C is 11, option D is 12. Now, this one is a bit tricky. Just give it a try. Now, the correct answer is absolutely 10. The 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976 originally enacted 10 fundamental duties under Article 51A. But the 11th fundamental duty is to obligate for parents and guardians to provide educational opportunities to children age of 6 to 14 years, was introduced later by the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act in 2002. Make sure you remember this basic fact. Now, question number 9 is contemporary question. In which year did C.P. Radhakrishnan assume office as the chairman of the Rajya Sabha? Option A is 2023, option B is 2024, option C is 2025, option D is 2026. Now, when you stuck in some type of question, try to reach the answer using the elimination method. Clear? And this question is required to use elimination method. Now, the correct answer is absolutely 2025. C.P. Radhakrishnan officially assumed the prestigious administrative office of the chairman of the Rajya Sabha in the year 2025. Clear? Now, the most important question of this session. Which of the following constitutional posts has never been held by a woman in India? Which of the following constitutional posts has never been held by a woman in India? Option A is President of India. Option B is Prime Minister of India. Option C is Speaker of Lok Sabha. And option D is Vice President of India. If you know the answer, trust me, you are in the very right path to secure your rank. Now, the correct answer is absolutely the Vice President of India. Till date, June 2026, the High Constitutional Office of the Vice President of India has never been held by a woman. Conversely, the office of the President, we all know, held by Pratibha Patil and Draupadi Murmu. And Prime Minister also we know Indira Gandhi ma'am. And Speaker also we know Meera Kumar and Sumitra Mahajan. But the Vice President of India and the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha also, yes, never been held by a woman in India. Please note down this very, very important fact on your revision notebook. Clear? Question number 11 is the mind of the makers of the Constitution of India is reflected in which of the following? Option A, the preamble. Option B, the fundamental rights. Option C, the DPSP, the directive principle of a state policy. And option D is the fundamental duties. Very easy question. Take a pause of 5 seconds. Now, the correct answer is absolutely the preamble. The Supreme Court of India has observed across various landmark judgments such as Berubari Union case that the preamble serves as a key to open the minds of the makers of the Constitution. Clear? Again, MPGK, biggest question. After the formation of Chhattisgarh in 2000, the number of Rajya Sabha seats allotted to Madhya Pradesh became option A 16, option B 14, option C 12, option D 11. Now, 5 seconds are over now. The correct answer is absolutely 11. Prior to the bifurcation of the state under the Madhya Pradesh Reorganization Act 2000, undivided Madhya Pradesh possessed 16 representation seats in the Rajya Sabha. But the creation of Chhattisgarh on November 1, 2000, 5 seats were allocated to the new state of Chhattisgarh and reducing the Madhya Pradesh allotment to 11 seats. Now, number 13 is which one of the following statements is correct regarding the national anthem of India? Option A is it was adopted on 26th January 1950. Option B is it was originally written in Hindi. Option C is its full rendition takes about 52 seconds. Option D is it was composed by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. Easy question. Now, your 5 seconds over. The correct answer is option C. Obviously, its full rendition takes about 52 seconds. But why other option is incorrect? Let's see. Yes, it was adopted on 24th January 1950. Clear? It was originally written in Sanskritized Bengali language and it was composed by, we all know, Rabindranath Tagore. Clear? This question is very much favorite of the MPPSC. And what it is? Fundamental rights are option A, justifiable, option B, non-justifiable, option C, flexible, option D, rigid. Easy question? Yes, 5 seconds over. Now the correct answer is option A, justifiable. The fundamental rights are legally justifiable or enforceable, meaning an individual have the constitutional privilege to directly move a court of law seeking enforcement and remedies if any of their basic fundamental rights are infringed upon by state actions. Clear? Question number 15 is the purpose of the inclusion of directive principles of state policy in the India Constitution is to establish is option A is political democracy, option B is social democracy, option C is Gandhian democracy, option D is social and economic democracy. Now this is a very conceptual type of question. Okay, think. Now your 5 seconds over. The correct answer is social and economic democracy. The core fundamental philosophy behind including the directive principle of state policy in part 4 is to formulate a structural goal establishing comprehensive social and economic democracy. They envision the realization of a progressive welfare state, unlike fundamental rights which primarily protects your political democracy. Clear? Question number 16 is the directive principle of state policy is a check which is paid on bank's convenience. Who said it? The DPSP is a check which is paid on bank's convenience. Who said it? Option A is Jawaharlal Nehru. Option B is B.R. Ambedkar. Option C is K.T. Shah. Option D is K.M. Munshi. Now take 5 seconds and lock in your answer. Now the correct answer is option C, K.T. Shah. One line answer. Please note down this answer. Now question number 17 is in which year did Gyanesh Kumar take charge as the Chief Election Commissioner of India? Option A is 2023, option B is 2024, option C is 2025, option D is 2026. Now, ready? Your 5 seconds starts now. The correct answer is 2025. Gyanesh Kumar, a distinguished retired civil servant, took official charge as the Chief Election Commissioner of India in the year 2025. Clear? Now, the most important current affairs is recently launched Teacher Cashless Health Scheme portal is associated with which state? The Teacher Cashless Health Scheme portal is associated with which state? Option A is Madhya Pradesh, option B is Rajasthan, option C is Bihar, option D is Uttar Pradesh. Now this one is a bit tricky, but just give it a try. And very important question, just note down this question and the proper explanation. The correct answer is absolutely Uttar Pradesh. The government of Uttar Pradesh rolled out the Teacher Cashless Health Scheme portal to streamline welfare administration and providing comprehensive hassle-free digital cashless medical care privileges to state employed educational staff and school teachers. Isn't it very nice scheme for a government employee? Now the general awareness question is, which of the following is not a feature of good governance? Option A is accountability. Option B is transparency. Option C is rule of law. Option D is red tapeism. Now, take your 5 seconds and answer this question in just 5 seconds. Now, The correct answer is red tapeism. According to global frameworks, just like the World Bank criteria, red tapeism, excessive bureaucracy, structural rigidity, and paper delays is a major hindrance to administration. That is why it is not a feature of good governance. So, what is the feature of good governance? Yes, accountability, transparency, rule of law, consensus oriented operation. Clear? Now, the last question is, when was the Madhya Pradesh State Election Commission established? When was the Madhya Pradesh Rajya Nirvachan Ayog established? Option A is 1st February 1994. Option B is 1st March 1994. Option C is 1st April 1994. Option D is 1st May 1994. Now, when you stuck this type of question, I always told you that use elimination method. Then you will reach the right answer. Now, the correct answer is absolutely option A is 1st February 1994. The Madhya Pradesh State Election Commission was officially constituted on 1st February 1994 following the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts, making the Madhya Pradesh is the first state in India to establish a state election commission to conduct a local body elections. Is it clear? This is a very important fact. Just note it down on your revision notebook. Clear? Great job, everyone. If you answered correctly, amazing work. And if not, don't worry. Every question is a step forward learning and improvement. If you found this breakdown of the absolute most important question of Indian polity helpful and want to see more high-yield exam prep content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep challenging yourself. Your journey to success starts with one question at a time. So, do not stop your preparation here. Click on the video right here on your screen to master the most repeated history MCQ challenges and keep studying smart. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious, stay motivated. Bye bye.